Hello, and welcome to another Ecom Power podcast. Hello, Michal. I can read your lips, but I can't hear you.
Hi Norm, how you doing
Oh,
today?
there we go. Great. So I just want to let everybody know what we're going to be discussing today. So once again, welcome to the Ecom Power, the Walmart Marketplace podcast. And today we're going to be talking about the Walmart mindset and how you can approach selling on Walmart. It is different than the other guy. Anyways, we're going to be talking about some of the biggest challenges that our guest faced when she started selling on Walmart and how she overcame them. What mindset do sellers need to have to move in to the Walmart space from Amazon? And what advice you would give to a new, or what advice our guests will give to new sellers that are trying to get onto the marketplace? So, anyways, Michal, why don't you take it from here and introduce our guest?
Yes, so our guest, she's a friend first of all, and she's amazing. Another woman expert for Walmart out there, Carrie Miller. I think everybody know her from Helium 10. So Carrie, join us.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. You know, one of the things I do want to mention about you and a little bit about your background is you've been in this space similar to Michal since 2016. Like you both of you ladies have been doing this forever. And anyways, one of the other things that, and this is when I first got to know you, you're a brand evangelist over at for Walmart tools over at Helium 10, right?
Yes,
You
yes,
got a
I
little bit
am.
of passion for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I work with the Walmart team and with Helium 10, and we're doing our best to, help make sure that anyone who starts selling on the platform is successful. So that's my main goal and my main job, which is
So
great.
anybody who's been around the event circuit, has probably seen you speak. You're very popular when it comes to Walmart, the Walmart space, and why don't we just start off with the first question? And
Mhm.
that's, how did you get in there? How did you start?
And starting in e-commerce
Yeah,
or
into Walmart.
into Walmart? Well, it was just kind of the next step. We were already selling in Amazon and Shopify, and actually they did approach us years ago, but it was really clunky. I think Michal was probably the one who took advantage of it back then. But we were approached by a sales rep, and we were just kind of like, I don't know if we really want to invest in this. But then as I started to see some success with other people, I met some successful Walmart sellers, so I was inspired to get going. That's what really did it for me.
So, Mikal, why don't I know that
Yes.
we've talked about this. We were really we were trying to get all our ducks in a row before we got you on here because you know so much. So, why don't you take it over from here? I know that there was a
Yes.
bunch of questions we
I
wanted
got
to
so
talk to
many.
Carrie about. I know you do.
I got so many questions for you, Carrie. But mm, after we see so many sellers coming from Walmart, after the selling in Amazon, and in the group we hear so many people have challenges. So can you tell
Mhm.
us a little bit about all the challenges you had coming into Walmart marketplace, and how did you overcome them?
I think, first of all, was just kind of learning the initial learning isn't that difficult. So that's kind of a one challenge, but it's not really that big of a challenge. I think a lot of people, get scared of, oh, I'd have to learn another platform, but it really is just kind of adjusting and learning a little bit of a new platform. And we have so much learning material now for people. That's a great, way. We have stuff on our Freedom Ticket for free for anyone who uses Helium 10. They can learn how to sell in Walmart. So that's I kind of paved the way that way. It's just kind of getting it all written out and showing people how to sell. And then, just I think learning how to market on Walmart and how to really optimize listings. So a lot of people think that you can just copy and paste your listing over from Amazon, and that's not true. And also, there's a whole keyword research process you need to do separately from Amazon. So I was just in Las Vegas at a conference, and even big brands are like, oh, I'm copying over my keywords that are successful in my PPC campaigns on Amazon and just using those on Walmart, and they're not working because they're not doing specifically research for Walmart. And so they need to do keyword research for Walmart, really need to frame their listings according to the guidelines that Walmart's put forth, and have just kind of a different strategy. So I think that's what I really want to talk about, is just having those strategies of, thinking about how, they can learn how to be successful on Walmart and overcome these challenges. I mean, I didn't have too many challenges. I think the biggest challenge was pay-per-click, which Walmart actually really has made it a lot easier. So you used to only be able to advertise as high as your organic rank. So I was not making that much money because it was like I was trying to just, I don't know, I was trying to advertise and it wasn't showing up anywhere because you couldn't show up on the searching grid very high. So once that opened up last June to where you could go to the top of searching grid, my sales started to soar. And then another thing they did was they moved from, they basically, you used to only be able to, bid, if you bid $5, you'd have to pay $5. Well, now
Right.
it's adjusted like Amazon. So, you could waste a lot of money that way. So it's harder to be profitable. So they've adjusted that. And I know they're coming out with a lot more things as we speak. So it's pretty exciting. But I think that's the main thing that really changed the game for me, is they really made it easier for us to advertise and pay to play, I guess you could say, a little more. I think there's still some opportunity for them to, improve. But I think the cool thing is if people start learning now, as Walmart continues to grow, you're just going to be on the cutting edge. You're going to be right there to take advantage of the opportunities. Whereas other people, if they just start from scratch, they're going to have to learn the whole thing. So I really think there's an opportunity here. And usually when things are difficult in the beginning, there's usually a reward for persevering. So the people who I think put in the effort and persevere are going to do really well in the long term. And, nothing really is easy. It's worth it. So it's not too challenging that people can't do it. So I always say that, it's different. You just got to learn it, and you can do it if you sell on Amazon. So that was a long-winded answer. But
I'm so happy you touch all these points, because all of them are, they're correct. Like, that's what I'm facing all the time. People coming to me like, oh, we don't want to invest in Walmart. We don't sell. And I'm like, let's look at your listing. And they're copy pasting everything, and they're not ranking, and they don't know why. And the minute they fix it, it's getting better. So that's like such a good point, is the most, I think, important point. And all the sellers that come in now, they have this PPC platform that is really good.
Exactly.
Finally. So, great. Norm?
Yeah, they don't have to spend much money too on the new platform. They just need to, spend enough money to get the algorithm to notice their products. So it's not as expensive as Amazon yet. But one of the things that you mentioned, Carrie, that's so important, and we say this every time, in the group 1,000 times, but that copy and paste. The problem with the copy and paste, and I've seen some very, very experienced sellers that have copied and pasted, and it's not like Walmart's not going to come up and say you did this wrong. You're just not going to get the algorithm to really pick it up.
Yeah.
You don't know that you did it wrong. And with the keywords, the other thing with these keywords, I know this is a project that I was working on with Michal, and it was for dog beds. And why weren't these dog beds being picked up? Well, it's the wrong keyword. What do you mean? It's pet bed. What? Pet bed picks up more than dog bed for this product. And then I want to point out one other thing, and that's opportunity. Yes. Do you remember the day I called you and I was picking your brain for a few things, and you said, oh, well, let's go onto our tools and check out if I can find some opportunities, like just live, just, a couple of minutes. And we came up with that garlic press. Do you remember that?
Yes. That was like the beginning.
That was at the beginning, and
Yeah.
there was so much opportunity
Yeah.
for that garlic. I don't know if you remember it, but I put it in my presentation and I showed that we were talking about it, and there was a garlic press that was doing quite a bit with one picture, and it was horrible. And back on Amazon, it actually turned out that that garlic press also had an opportunity over on Amazon, but it was completely saturated. But Walmart was wide open.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So that's something I think a lot of people should get excited about. Is there's still, I will say, since we started kind of showing that, I think garlic press got a bit more saturated.
Oh, yeah.
But I do still think there's a lot of opportunity out there that people are just sleeping on. I've talked to, I was at Shop Talk and talked to big brands, and they're just kind of like meh about Walmart right now. So if they're kind of, doing that, then there's just so much opportunity for us, because I know, for example, I'm making sales. I showed my numbers at Prosper, and I'm making sales, and it's not the same as Amazon, but it's growing, and you can keep growing. And say you get 10 products that are selling 10 to 15,000 a month, you're over $100,000 a month, and that's pretty good business right there. So much opportunity. So people should get excited about that.
Yes, there is so much money in Walmart. A little bit, tiny bit sellers, and a lot of money. So everybody can take a piece of that cake.
Yeah.
Right. And Matthew, we all know Matthew Smith. He was on our last podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he was explaining some of the incredible opportunities that Walmart is actually trying to work with sellers and giving them 25% off for, I think it was for the full year. So these are things that, you don't get over on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah. I can tell you another one too. Once you get the pro seller badge, which is, you have to have, good order rate, no less than 2% cancellations, good reviews, a higher than 60% listing quality score. There's a few qualifications, but you get 20% off of your fees with that. So I'm more profitable just for that reason. There's just, so much opportunity there to, if you have the pro seller badge, not only are you more visible, but your fees are going to be less on Walmart. So
I didn't know that. Is that something new or?
Yeah, no, maybe it's been the last year, but I noticed, as I kind of grew my PPC and my sales, once I hit the pro seller badge, my sales went up quite a bit. So you can actually see a difference because people filter for the pro seller badge. And so it's like just such a winning situation to have the pro seller badge, because you get filtered out, and you get more sales and you get less fees. You can't top that.
Yeah,
exactly. So. Well, one of the other things I like to talk to you about too are the challenges. Like, what challenges have you had? What challenges do you have?
Challenges. I think beating some of the first party sellers for certain keywords is a little challenging right now. So my strategy is to kind of work around the bigger keywords, and there's search volume. It looks really low maybe on Walmart, but if you're really relevant for those keywords, you're going to convert. So what I kind of do is kind of same strategy on Amazon too, because I'm in a competitive space, kind of going around the main keywords. The longer tail keywords are now more relevant on Walmart. So I'm starting to see that pick up quite a bit. So kind of, grasping on that opportunity. But yeah, the main keywords, those are harder to figure out the ranking strategy for, like, for example, like men's t-shirts or something like that. That would be just those kinds of keywords are harder. So I'd say that is a challenge. Sometimes it can be frustrating just uploading a listing because it doesn't always upload when you're trying to upload it. I think that's a challenge. And I think people get frustrated because you're like, okay, this is the 10th time. My flat file doesn't work.
Third time is a charm.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. And the flat file I noticed doesn't work very well on the Mac. So I've had to just kind of send it over to a PC to upload it, and it uploads a lot easier for the flat files. Some other things, there's some international sellers I've talked to that their brand is on Walmart, but their country isn't allowed to sell on Walmart yet. So I have seen some of them able to get past that that challenge and start selling, just because maybe they're a bit bigger brand. But that is a challenge. I'm trying to think of some others that off the top of my head, but there's definitely some challenges throughout that you just kind of pivot, just like you do with Amazon. I would say they're less challenges than Amazon, but there's different challenges. So difference, and just like the uploading the listing, that kind of stuff is a little frustrating. Or changing the order of your photos sometimes doesn't work either. So that's kind of annoying. There are little things like that. But
what about hijackers?
yeah, hijackers, that's another more challenging thing, because there were a lot of, drop shippers and stuff. So I think they are doing a better job of clearing that out, but you really need to have the brand registered. Go into the brand portal on Walmart so that you can get your brand registered to help prevent that. Now you have to also make sure that you own your UPC codes. So that's another challenge that people back in the day, I remember I was always saying you should always own your UPC codes and buy your own and have your own brand stuff. And I would have these arguments with people and they're like, no, it's fine. You can just buy these one-off UPCs. Well, it turns out that actually is a really bad idea, because you don't have any ownership over that UPC. When you go to Walmart, you can't prove that you own it. They won't help you out. So even if you're brand registered, if your UPCs are not, registered to your brand, you don't have control over them, then you're not going to have the ability to control that. So that's something to think about, is making sure that you've got all the UPCs under control.
So when we talk about that, and sorry, Michal, but this is such an important point that you just brought out, Carrie, that if you don't understand, if you're listening and you've never bought either these barcodes, or you have them and you're wondering what the heck we're talking about, you own them, you think you own them. Well, all these discount places where you can buy them, on eBay, or there's a bunch of websites that you can go and you can get them dirt cheap. They most likely bought a ton of them, or just got them for free, a huge database, when these UPCs were available. Like, UPCs are something that's very unique and specific to a product. But if XYZ barcode company went out and bought 100,000 or 1,000,000 of these, they have the prefix at the beginning, which gives the ownership to them. And a lot of Amazon sellers in the past would just go and use these, and they were very very, very inexpensive. The proper one is GS1. And the reason why people didn't go to GS1 is they used to be pretty expensive, and there was a renewal. Now GS1. So what ends up when you buy a package from GS1 is it'll put your name. The certificate will actually have your name in the front. And then when Walmart goes and scans it and sees that it's yours, there's no problem. And just a little tidbit here, two things. One, you can buy a single barcode now, and it is non-renewable. You just buy it once, and it's, I think in the US it was $30. But what I found out is that you can go to different GS1 countries that are licensed throughout the world and buy them there, and they're just as good and they're less expensive.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a good tip. Yeah. And if you're setting up now, make sure to set up correctly that way. Buy it from GS1.
And I see that I forgot my lights. Oh my gosh, let me put one on.
So talking about GS1, another tip I want to share is when you're a seller, a brand coming to Walmart, and somebody already listed your product, you do not own that page. You cannot fix it. I know you want to fix it, you want to optimize it, you want to change the images. You cannot fix it. So when you're going to contact Walmart, they're going to ask you for the GS1 certificate. So if you have that and you email that to them, they will transfer the ownership of that page back to you. So this is how we do it, like literally. We already did thousands of those for brands. We just handling that, and it's simple. We know the process. So that's how you do it. If you guys want to get ownership back on your listing, you should have that. Or you should have your trademark and register in the brand portal. But I think with the GS1, it's really fast. Just one case, you put the documents, and
Yeah.
And usually in like 48 hours, you should get the ownership back on your listing. So
And,
Carrie, I wanna ask you another question.
okay.
All the subject of our podcast is mindset, and
Yeah.
I'm talking about it for years, and I'm so happy. We're like we really like that topic. Is when sellers come in from Amazon or different marketplaces, what kind of mindset they need to have to
Mhm.
start selling on Walmart and be successful.
I think I've realized that, the kind of mindset that you have to have in just selling in e-commerce in general is the long-term mindset and not a get rich quick. There are a lot of people who are like, oh, if you're not making this much money right away, then, it's not going to work. But I've seen with myself over time, I've slowly built my business, and it's slowly, just increasing every year, just increasing and growing. And so I think some people kind of feel like, you're supposed to be like those people who get lucky and they come up with this crazy product idea and they're selling 10 million their first year and 20 million. We've seen those stories, and those are great stories, but the majority of people are in it for the long game. And so what I think that people need to do when they go to Walmart is they need to look at the long-term game, and they're going to set themselves up for success, but also realize that if you put in the effort and you focus on it, that you're going to make sales now. And so even if it's, people are like, oh, it's sometimes just 10%. Some people are making more on Walmart than they are on Amazon. And for one product of mine, it was actually, I make more money on Walmart than on Amazon because of the pay-per-click costs and the competition. So, you really have to kind of think of it product by product, because a lot of people are like, oh, how much can I make? Well, it depends on your effort. It depends on your product. It depends on how you're doing. So, you can't just say, oh, you're going to make 10% of your sales, or you could make, 50%, you could do really, really well. It really depends on, how you set up. Another thing is people go with the mindset of like, oh, I already know how to do this on Amazon. I'm just going to copy and paste. Like we've said, just, you can obviously do the same images, but your copy needs to be restructured. But I don't know one person who would launch on Amazon and say, oh, I'm just going to put this up here, and, I'm not going to do any ads. And yeah, and then, after 2 months, if it's not successful, they're not going, oh, it's because Amazon's terrible and there's not really opportunity. No one does that on Amazon. It's the same on Walmart. If you're going on to Walmart and just putting something up there, you're copying and pasting it, not doing any ads, not putting any effort, then you're not going to see the results. So, I mean, I can't tell you. Usually I would say 9 out of 10 people that I talk to, I'm like, well, are you running ads? And they're like, no. Would you launch something on Amazon and not run ads? Well, no, I always run ads on Amazon. Well, of course. Why wouldn't you do that on Walmart? Why wouldn't you optimize that? Why wouldn't you look at your listing quality score, try to do everything you can to make it successful? We have all the tools for everyone kind of laid out. So I just think that's kind of an interesting mindset that people have. It's just kind of like, well, whatever. But the cool thing about those who are really excited and motivated is that if you put in the effort, you're going to learn, you're going to be better than everyone else, and you're going to set yourself up for long-term success and long-term sales on Walmart. So I think that's the kind of mindset people need to have, is that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And that's just in general. I talk to people all the time, and they just want to become a millionaire day one. And it doesn't happen that way. You learn so much along the way, and you're optimizing as you go. So, being in Walmart now, we're learning how to optimize along the way too. And we're getting better and better, and we're way farther ahead of everyone else because we did it, we just went for it. And that's literally what sets, all of us apart from everyone else who's just not even trying, is, putting in the effort, the mindset of I can do this, I can be successful. And you can. I mean, Walmart's the biggest retailer in the entire world. So there's so much opportunity. If you do well on Walmart too, you can get invited into the Walmart stores. And I know people who have been invited to open call, which is where you can go pitch your product to the buyers for the store. So I think the mindset is opportunity. You don't want to leave money on the table. And so I think, going into that, knowing that you just need to put in some effort, and it's not like a whole huge amount of effort. I mean, you already know how to sell. You just have to learn, again, like I say, the differences, and you'll be doing great. So I don't know what your thoughts are, but that's kind of what I've come across.
I think that's exactly how I think. It's you need to come and invest So what I see with brands, when I talk to brands, they're either or, we understand we need to invest, we understand Walmart's potential, let's do it. And a lot of them, they're like, yeah, we want to do it, but we don't want to spend the money because we're not making money on Walmart. I'm like, yeah, but if you spend, you're going to start making. So,
Yeah.
you have to, a lot of them have this issue, and they're like, oh, we are so successful on Amazon. Yeah, you are successful. You're selling hundreds of units every day, and you can do the same on Walmart, but you have to, give it the attention. So that's again the mindset, the shift. Like, okay, our mindset is so focused on Amazon. Let's take, one day a week that we're gonna shift our mindset just to Walmart, like how we can get better on Walmart, what we can learn. Even stores. I'm telling brands a lot of times, if you just focus on the opportunities on Walmart, you can probably add a new item to your catalog that is gonna be so good for Walmart. Just forget about Amazon for one day. Just look at the opportunities there. Norm, what do you
I
think?
think a lot of sellers treat it they treat it the same as Amazon, but they don't want to put the effort in at like
Yeah.
Amazon. So what happens a lot of the times is the competitive analysis that people are using when you're doing your research for your product on Amazon is different. What does your product competitors look like? Go and find them on Walmart. See how they're using their image. See how they have their product description and their attribution fields, everything filled out, and then start to compare, because it is a different platform and different people, different audience, different demographic are looking at this, and you might have to change those images. I would still, and it's funny because we've talked about this before, Michal, but your primary image and your whole slide deck that you want to show, it might be different, or you might be able to keep it very similar or the same, but still split test it and see what people would like to see. So that's a big one. The other thing that you touched on, Carrie, when we were talking about PPC and Walmart Connect, that's their PPC platform, is that they have something that Amazon doesn't have yet. And I mean, you have to scroll down a bit, but if you're not perfect, if you don't have that image that's going to keep people interest right off the bat, there is a carousel of your competitors with one click, boom, now it's purchased, and all they have to do is have a better image than what you're showing.
Yep,
That's a
exactly.
big difference.
That's a huge difference. Another thing with the images too is when you're on the main search page, if you're not a variation, you can literally just click add to cart, and people do that. They just add it from just that main image and the title. So there's that thing about if you want the variation, there's a little quick view, and it just pops up with your images, and you can add it to the cart. So you can sell them right there in the images without them even going to your listing or any other listing, and you're the only one when it's on the quick view. So it's actually really helpful to take a look at the experience that these customers are going through, so you can see, wow, I literally need to sell them in images because this pops up as a quick view, and I don't have any competition in the quick view, and that's a really good opportunity. So that's a really good point, the images.
Yes. Norm, you want to take our next question?
Yeah, sure. So one of, again, going, just kind of circling back to the overall image outside of PPC, I've never discussed this, and we weren't discussing this earlier, Michal, but I'm wondering how important it is to be using sort of that third-party host to help with engaged. In Amazon, we called it A+ or enhanced brand content. Are you seeing that, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, they have video available, and then like a 360 view. And I did talk to Walmart about this. I think they're going to be, rolling out in the future some more modules. But I really do think that is a good way to set yourself apart with that video. And I think even just on Amazon, video ads and video just really does pretty well. And I know they're beta testing video ads right now. So on Walmart. So that's really up and coming. So if you already have your, video up there, then you can just kind of, push it over to the ads. So yeah, I do think it's something I haven't necessarily calculated it, but I do know that it does help, encourage the purchase, especially when you sell those benefits in the video. And a lot of products really are enhanced with the video. So I definitely think it's a good thing to add to your listing. If you have a lot of variations, you do have to pay per SKU. So it's kind of it is expensive. So you'd probably have to just weigh whether or not it's a good value at this point. So that's kind of what I would think is
or just put it on your primary, because usually the customer will get to the primary first.
Yeah.
And they actually have a lot of things changing now with variations. Like in the past, when we had variation, let's say, for example, we had a customer that had, a doctor in different colors. And if you search, something specific, you would only get the primary. Now it's actually, if you search for red and the red is not primary, it's actually pulling this off. So this is like so new. And I think it came together with when they changed the ads platform, when they add the option to add variation SKUs to your campaigns. Did you notice that?
I haven't noticed it organically. I've noticed it in the PPC, but I've been trying to see my other. I have like I kind of was thinking back on when I was setting up my variations. I should have made my base variation my most popular SKU, size and color, because I didn't do that, and I didn't realize the importance of it, because that's the only one that ranks. So I haven't seen the other variations rank for my particular products, but I have seen them in the PPC. But I'm assuming some other products are, maybe it's just kind of slowly rolling out, or I don't know what it is to get those others ranking. So there's probably a strategy that I need to work on and figure out how to get those other variations ranking for the different, and I actually did have them separated. Like I have the variations separated. The sizes are all together, but each color is a different variation, because I wanted to take up more real estate. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but
so sorry about that. For cutting you off, Michal. I do that all the time. But how do you keep up to date with all the trends and everything that's coming out? Is there any way that any of the listeners can get updates other than listening to you selling on the Walmart marketplace?
I get some of the updates that I just figure it out by playing around, but usually they'll send an email and they let everyone know when things are improved. Like with the variations, they sent an email to everyone, or when they improve something, they'll send an email to your seller, the email that you've registered as a seller with. So that's the biggest way. And, I do think that for a lot of this, I'll be able to get some information and get it out as, right when it comes out. So hopefully we'll have some more of that in the future, because I think we'll work more with Walmart to get everybody up and running fast with the new changes that happen. And so I can share those. But yeah, it's usually when I figure stuff out, it's in the emails that I get. Or sometimes, LinkedIn, somebody has an insider knowledge. There are people who leak stuff. So I like to stay on LinkedIn to see. But a lot of stuff I've just kind of figured out by I'm like, oh, that's interesting, or that's different, or, oh, the dashboard looks different. You just kind of see it when you're in there every day.
Yes, that's a good point. They are, we're trying the same. Like, give us some more updates. We want to share. So I guess we're both in the same process of trying to get some more information from Walmart.
Yeah.
Are we gonna take a break, or we gonna go to the next question, Lauren?
Yeah, I think, Kelsey, I'm not sure how this is because this is a new format, but do you have your finger on the sponsor button? Are you struggling with your Walmart marketplace business? Do you need help from a skilled and reliable virtual assistant? Well, look no further than Virtual Assistant Academy, or VAA Philippines. VAA specializes in locating, screening, training, and supporting high-quality Walmart VAs in the Philippines. Their VAs receive extensive Walmart training and ongoing professional development and are committed to long-term working relationships with you. Partner with VAA and experience the peace of mind knowing that you have a dedicated Walmart-trained VA who's up to date with the latest tools and trends in the dynamic Walmart marketplace. Head over to VAAphilippines.com and let VAA match you with your ideal VA today. Who was that guy? So I just looking at the time, maybe it's a good time to start answering some questions.
All right.
Okay, so let me see. Let's do this one from Greg. If you're testing a potential bundle, would you test with a cheap UPC? And if it goes well, get a GS1 or just start with the GS1?
I would start with the GS1 and that's my personal opinion, because if it does well, you want to keep that UPC, right? So I think that's what a lot of people did back in the day. And then they were like, oh, this is doing really well. And then they're stuck with a kind of not a great UPC. So do you guys agree, or what do you think?
I think it's a good question, but I think Walmart is different than Amazon. Walmart will let you change your UPC anytime. You just need to use maintenance spec sheet, and you can replace the UPC with no problem. It's like 5 minutes and your UPC is changed. But at the same time, starting the right way, it's always good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I do know that over on the Amazon platform, there's been nightmares. It used to be very similar where you could just change the UPC on the go and no problems. Now we've seen some real issues with some brands that we've had. So I would just go right off the bat. Go and spend $30 and you can get that single UPC code. So, and start off right.
Okay, and we had just a small question. Where is the quick view button?
Quick view button.
You were talking about
when you're in your searching grid. When you go on to say you're searching garlic press, you can either add to cart directly there, or you can do a little quick view and it'll pop up with the images. So act like you're a customer and just kind of search whatever product you want to search that product, and then you'll see what I'm talking about in that experience. And I always think that's a good idea. I learned that from Janelle Page, who does a great job with marketing in general. She's always talking about acting like you're the customer and going and seeing what the customer experience is and seeing what other competitors are doing and how to better market your product. So that's kind of one of those ways you can do that. You can see what other competitors are doing with their images in the quick views. And I mean, it's their same images, but it's just easier to see it quicker. And so that's where it's at.
Yes, and you can spy. Let's talk a little bit about tools. And so my question to you is, it's two questions. So the first one is, what you recommend to when seller come and ask you, how we find opportunities, how we know what product to sell, and then I guess that take me to the second question is like, what is the best tools to find opportunities and validate?
Yeah, so we have some tools. We have our X-ray tool, and also in terms of just finding new products, you can still use the black box tool for Amazon, and usually it converts over to there's opportunity for that product on Walmart. So you can kind of play around with that too, and hopefully we'll have something more for Walmart specifically in the future. But what I'll do is I'll look through using X-ray and seeing, just what opportunities there are. You can kind of compare it to Amazon too and see what there is on Amazon that's doing really well or trending that might not be on Walmart yet. I know a lot of people do that with Etsy. They'll look for Etsy trending products and then put them on Amazon, and that still works and that does really well. I know one of our elite members, she found a product last year that was trending, and she is the top seller, number one spot, and she's selling 150 plus a day of this one product. So yeah, on Amazon. So finding those little opportunities and where they're and it is if it's really, really niche, it's harder on Walmart. But if you're in home goods or clothing or things that you can repeat buy, those are really good opportunities for Walmart. So think about things that are something that people would buy consistently, because people do like to shop at Walmart for, their everyday items as well. So yeah, those are my thoughts there. Tools, also keyword tools. We have great, you can see keyword searches as well. So we have 5 different tools. So, but I'd say X-ray is the best one to start with.
Okay, and our last question says, last year at the Helium 10 event, it was shared that the Helium 10 regarding Walmart would get better. I was eyeing a product from December to February. The data showed that it could be very successful in December and January, 6 figures, and in February, as I was getting ready to purchase the product, dropped to literally $700. Can you share when Helium 10's X-ray information will it be more accurate, or is there updates or?
Yeah, we are working with Walmart to get more data. So it's maybe it's a just time, I think. So I will, hopefully when that comes, out more data from Walmart, I'll let you know, Michal and Norm, and we can kind of announce it here so that you can see that. But for sure, the keyword search volume is very, very accurate. So that's a really great place to start as well. You can see the search volume, and then on Walmart, you can also see they'll say 100 plus sold today, or they do kind of what Amazon does in a lot of different categories. It'll say like just like if anyone's seen that they're starting to say 1K sold or whatever it is on Amazon now, they do that on Walmart already just every day for certain big products. But that's a good question, so thanks.
Yeah, I think I even saw some products have like tags like bestsellers, and there's a lot of new things. It's like, I guess they're testing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it that time, Kels?
Yeah, we're all wrapped up here. I think all the questions are done.
Okay, well, we're going to cut it short today. I've got to run off again. But but anyways, Carrie, it was so nice. See, I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know. It's been so long, Norm. I miss you.
I grew a beard since the last time you saw me.
Yeah.
But we definitely do have to get you back. It's always nice talking with you, and it's a breath of fresh air to our Amazon or our Walmart listeners. There's always coming with some nuggets there. So thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
Michal, it's always nice being here with you.
Yes, you too.
Okay.
All right.
So would you like to close it out, Michal?
Yes, so thank you so much for joining us. If you watch, if you live, give us some likes. If you're watching on YouTube, give us some likes and subscribe. We will be back with a new podcast in 2 weeks. And thank you so much.
Okay. And we'll see everybody later. See you, Carrie.
Thank you, Carrie.